Hi, so today we are going to discuss about the starters for an AC motor. So there are various types of starters are there. So for various types of motors, so we will go for various types of starters based on the rating of the motors. So the various types of starters are called as an direct online starter, star delta starter, auto transformer starter, stator resistance starter, rotor resistance starters. So today we are going to discuss about the direct online starter and star delta starter for AC motors. So we should know, so what is the purpose of starters first. The starter is used to control the starting current of the motor, whether it is of an AC motor or it is of an DC motor. The purpose of starter is used to limit the starting current of the motor, because so the motor draws about 5 to 7 times the rated current. So if this 5 to 7 percentage of rated current enters into the machine for a particular time, the machine will goes off. Hence, so we have to limit the starting current of the machine at the instant. So we are going for the starters. So what happens, we'll see. If the motor started with full voltage, the starting current gets increased 5 to 7 times of the full load current, and an objectionable voltage drop would happen. So consequently, the torque is also get reduced due to the reduction of voltage drop. So if you are going to reduce the voltage to reduce the current, so we can able to reduce the current by means of reducing the voltage, but objectionable reduction of starting torque would be happen, because the motor torque is proportional to the square of the applied voltage. Hence there is a situation that if we reduce the starting current, so we have to face a reduction of torques also. So already we have discussed various types of starters for an induction motors. So we are going to discuss right now with an direct online starter. So motor consists of two parts. One is called as a stator and rotor, which is already discussed. So the motor which is used for the D-volt starter is about, the capacity should be often less than 5 HP. The supply is connected directly to the motor via the starter connection. So the starter has two terminals. One is called as a normally open and normally closed switch. So and these starters has an arrangement is called as a contactors. So there are the three main contactors and one auxiliary contactor. And the setup has a thermal overload relay. So initially, to start the machine, so we have to turn on the normally opened switch. We have to press the normally open switch, hence the circuit gets closed. The circuit gets closed with the help of from the two phases. So for example, if you consider it is an R phase, Y phase and B phase. So Y phase and B phase just connected. So it is act as a closing path. So hence the flow of current would happen. If a flow of current would happen, so the magnetizing coil gets energized. So this energization would tend to attract this contactor. Hence the motor starts to rotate. The supply will flow from the three-phase supply to the stator. Hence the motor starts to rotate. So this is how the operation is happening. Next, the motor starts to rotate. So if the motor is overloaded, so we have to protect it, right? So this type of overload relay will is used to find the abnormality of the loading condition. If the load is increased, so it draws more current from the supply. If it draws more current, it draws more heat. So with the help of the temperature, so this overload relay will act. So this will act as a supportive for the motor to disconnect under abnormal condition. So the next operation is a normally closed switch. So the first condition what we have shown is a normally open switch. So we have pushed the switch and it has energized, so it attracted the contactors and the motor starts to rotate. The second condition is thermal overload relay. If the motor gets overloaded, so it draws more current, in turn it draws more heat, so the relay will operate to disconnect the main supply from the motor. And during normal condition, if you have to turn off the motor, so this is a switch which is always normally closed, so we have to push the switch, hence the de-energization would happen in the contactor, and hence this contactor will release its position, hence it will be disconnected from the main supply. So this is how the operation is happening. So it has some major advantages and disadvantages. It is very simple and simple design, so on it is economical and cheaper, and it gives in full starting torque because we are not reducing voltage here or we are not controlling here. The torque is also high, the current is also high. The disadvantage is it is starter is mechanically tough to operate because it will load on high starting current, high starting torque. It reduces the lifespan of the machine because of mechanical stresses, and it causes voltage dip in main power. The applications are, it is used for low power rating, generally it is of less than 5 HP. It is used for fans, compressors and small water pumps, and used for winding of the motor does not get damaged. So these are the various applications of an dual starter. So next starter is called as a star delta starter. This type of starter is mostly used for starting of in 3-phase induction motors. So those starters are used for in single phase, and this is used for in 3-phase, so which is greater than capacity greater than 5 HP. So we know the formula already. V phase is equal to VL by root 3. So here the phase voltage gets reduced root 3 times in all the 3 phases. Hence there is a reduction of voltage would happen. If the reduction of voltage happens, the reduction of current would happen, and similarly, so the reduction of torque is also to happen. So initially we start the motor within star connection, and once this motor achieves 80% of the rated speed, so the motor transitions to the delta connected windings from the star connected winding in the stator. Then the line will get the full voltage, hence we can get a full current, and the machine can be run under a 10 rated torque. So this is in a diagram, star delta starter. So this is called as a star connection, which has a neutral point, while this is called as a delta connection. It does not have any neutral points. In star delta starting methods of squirrel cage induction motor, the motor started in star connection, and it will once it attains a speed, so it will convert it into the delta. The connections of the diagram is given here. So the discussion is very simple. 3-phase supply, and we are taking the 3-phase supply to the induction motor, and the output is connected in terms of a star and delta manner. So initially it will be in the star connection, and once it is started to run the 80% of rated speed, so it will be converted into delta. In delta, so V phase is equal to VL. So hence maximum voltage enters into the machine to have a high current, hence the high torque can be obtained. So this is a schematic of the real-time schematic of a star delta connections of a starter. So it has some major advantages and disadvantages. It is inexpensive. It does not produce any heat. Does not require any tap changing or thereby increasing efficiency. Starting current reduced to 1/3 of the direct online starting current. So produce high torque per ampere of line current. The